Calico Dorsey, Male Dog of the Mining Camps, by Susan Lendroth, illustrations by Adam Gustavson. Al Stacy almost missed the stray huddled on the porch. Wistful brown eyes looked up at him from the shadows. Al sighed. "Come on," he said, opening the door. His brother Everett was stirring a pot while Everett's daughter Nellie set the table. "Where'd you find him?" asked Nellie. "He sort of found me," said Al, shaking the rain off his hat. Everett dished up 4 plates of stew over biscuits. Nellie brought one to the wet dog, then sat beside him, stroking his bedraggled fur. "What's his name, Uncle Al?" "I think I'll call him Dorsey." Al's new dog wagged his tail. Everett ran the post office in Calico, a silver mining town that was teeming with folks riding in on the stagecoach or packing out gear on horses and mules. Dorsey soon made friends with everyone. He played tag and chased sticks with Nellie and the other school children. Miners fed him bacon and beans, and Dorsey gave their whiskered faces an extra lick clean during Saturday night baths in the barber shop tub. No one was a stranger long to Dorsey. When silver strikes drew some of the prospectors across the hills to the new Bismarck mine, Al took Dorsey with him to open a general store. Dorsey missed the comings and goings of Calico. He missed his friends. Most of all, he missed Nellie. The Bismarck miners missed town too, especially getting their mail. It was up to Al and Dorsey to fetch a bundle of letters once a week when they hiked to Calico for supplies. As soon as they reached town, Dorsey would wander off to find Nellie. But once Al began loading the burro to head back to the mine, his dog always reappeared. One blistering summer morning, Al canceled their weekly run, declaring, "It's too darned hot, Dorsey. We're staying home today." Al took a nap at the back of his store, but Dorsey disappeared until late afternoon. The following morning, Al and Dorsey left for Calico just after sunup. "Missed you yesterday," Everett said when they walked into the post office. "That trail would have been hotter than a giant's skillet," said Al. "It wasn't for Dorsey," declared Nellie between licks from the dog. Everett told Al how Dorsey had come to town the day before, romped with Nellie and the kids, and begged treats from the miners before heading back to Bismarck. "Next time, wait for me, Dorsey," said Al. Dorsey didn't listen. From that day on, whenever he felt lonesome for town, he would scamper over the hills to Calico. At the end of Dorsey's visits, Everett and Nellie would shoo the dog home, but in another day or two, back he'd come, tail wagging. Everett was sorting through the mail one afternoon when Dorsey walked into the post office and flopped on the floor next to Nellie. "If Al came to town as often as that dog, we wouldn't have all these letters piling up for the Bismarck miners," grumbled Everett, stuffing another envelope into an already full mail slot. Nellie looked up from rubbing Dorsey's belly and scanned the wall of sorted mail. "Hey, Pa," she said, "I've got an idea." The sun was setting on the horizon when Dorsey trotted into Al's store. "What in tarnation is this?" asked Al, untying a burlap sack from the dog's back. "Al, if you read this, that dog of yours is better than a burro. He can carry the mail by himself. Send something back to us, signed Everett. P.S. It was my idea, signed Nellie. For 2 weeks, Al, Everett, and Nellie sent Dorsey back and forth between Bismarck and Calico, training him to make the Calico post office his first and last stop on trips to town. He practiced by carrying newspapers, notes, and even a package of peppermint drops. Dorsey always arrived with the bag tied to his back. Finally, Dorsey was ready to carry the United States mail. On the big day, miners clustered in front of Al's small store. One man rubbed Dorsey's ears and promised, "Bring me back a letter and I'll fetch you a biscuit." Another laughed, "Bring me one and I'll give you 2. Al pointed toward town. "To Calico, Dorsey. Go to Everett and Nellie." Dorsey bolted down the trail to a chorus of cheers. His feet kicked up puffs of dust that hung in the morning air with the scent of creosote. In Calico, Dorsey stopped at the post office to visit Everett and Nellie before making his rounds. When Dorsey returned, Nellie and Everett buckled mail bags on his back. They fit just right. Nellie said, "I have a surprise for you." She fastened a little leather bootie on each of Dorsey's feet. "I made them myself. That trail is rough." Dorsey gingerly took a few steps in his new booties. Nellie hugged him hard and whispered, "Show them you're the best mailman, mail dog they've ever seen. Back to Uncle Al, boy. Home to Al." Dorsey streaked out the door. Dorsey's new booties protected his paws from sharp rocks, letting him run the trail even faster. A chuckwalla skittered away on stubby legs. Dorsey lunged after it, but when he felt the mailbag shift, he turned back to the trail. Sometimes Dorsey paused to sniff at small, dark holes, but he did not stop to dig at the hard-packed dirt. Halfway down the trail, a prospector called out, "Hey, Dorsey, what you got? Anything for me?" Dorsey barked a friendly greeting, but did not wait. He was out of sight before the miner reached the bottom of the slope. When a jackrabbit sprang out of the shadows, Dorsey raced after it. He matched the rabbit leap for leap until the mailbag slid sideways and bounced against his leg. Dorsey stopped. Lickety-split, the jackrabbit disappeared. One mailbag now hung low on Dorsey's side. It tapped his leg with every step. Somewhere he had lost one of the booties Nellie made him. The air danced with heat. Step tap, step tap. Dorsey ignored the lizards startled out of sunbaths. Step tap, step tap. Never had he walked the trail so slowly. The mailbag sagged lower. A shout echoed throughout the hills. "I see him!" Mailbags bouncing, Dorsey loped down the rest of the trail and barreled into Al's arms. Miners whooped and tossed their hats in the air. Someone sloshed down a bowl of water. Al pulled out a fistful of letters. "Looks like somebody here owes my dog a biscuit," said Al. Dorsey barked twice and thumped his tail. "Make that 2 biscuits," Al said with a laugh. Tomorrow, Dorsey would head back to Calico and Nellie with a new batch of letters. Tonight, the first mail dog of the mining camps deserved as many biscuits as he could eat. The end.